place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man that go nuts if he can't shoot. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, given to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations, I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
Touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I won't always smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Eric Malcolm.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans, and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood?
The American people, I believe in what we can do to strengthen our small businesses, which is why I have a plan. Let's talk about our plans and let's compare the plans. I have a plan to give startup businesses $50,000 tax deduction to pursue their ambitions, their innovation, their ideas, their hard work. I have a plan, $6,000 for young families for the first year of your child's life to help you in that most critical stage of your child's development. I have a plan that is about allowing people to be able to pursue what has been fleeting in terms of the American dream by offering a help with down payment of $25,000 down payment assistance for first-time home buyers. That's the kind of conversation, I believe, David, that people really want tonight, as opposed to a conversation that is constantly about belittling.
Okay, I want you. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is a morning wake up call. So, as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Excuse me. Now, I want you all to pay attention because in that clip, she was trying to mimic Dr. King's talking points. When he kept saying, I have a dream, from the I have a dream speech, she kept saying, I have a plan. I have a plan. She kept reiterating it. And she clearly stole that from Dr. King. And I know most people probably didn't even notice that. Okay, please pay attention. Now, whoever put that nose on her is clearly nefarious. But someone sent me that. Okay, so let's get into it. Everyone, please get the likes up. Don't forget to follow the Queen on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. All right, and as per usual, if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Exit stage left. All right, hello, Pearly. Claudette's in the house. Juju Beats at Queen is Queening. All right, Luna is here. Jonah. Okay. About damn time. All right, Sandra, Mr. Fats, Arafats, Pearly, All Hell Nah, Buckhurst DC, 504 Nola, Queen Amoni Huey. All right, so let's get into it. That Crazy Beach Aries, Tawana. Juju said, Queen looking amazing. Thank you, beloved. All right, Jeff ATL, Miss Lucilia. All right, Tawana is in the house. Let's get it popping. TC Dan. Shout out to my moderators putting in work. Okay, shout out to my moderators putting in work. So let's go ahead and get it started. Hey, Deronda. Okay, so likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Remember, it doesn't cost you a single thing. And for those of you who follow the backup channel, we will be going live on their broadcasting right after this live at about 11 o'clock. At about 11 o'clock a.m., okay? And then also, I'll be supposed to be going live tonight also at about 9, okay, with an interview. So everyone, please get those likes up. Thank you in advance. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link to the next broadcast in the chat. Okay. Happy birthday, Dan. TC Dan, shout out to my moderator. Happy birthday, beloved. All right. So let's go ahead and get this started. Let me check something real quick, beloveds. Let me see something real quick. I was trying to download something. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Okay, so with that all being said, let me go ahead and get started while I'm waiting for this. Now let's talk about witchcraft, because someone has accused Kabami of witchcraft. One of the MAGA Trump supporters, okay, a pastor, MAGA pastor, claims that Kabami Harris deployed witchcraft during Trump's debate. Okay, it said that she in fact used witchcraft. So let's talk about it, because this is all hilarious to me. Okay, this is all hilarious. All right, hold on. Okay, here we go. So, MAGA pastor and evangelical leader Lance Wilnaw has accused Kamala Harris of using witchcraft during Tuesday night's presidential debate. Now, in a series of posts on X, formerly known as Twitter, Wilnaw claimed that Vice President Harris used supernatural manipulation to gain the upper hand in her combative showdown with the former president. Now, you cannot make this stuff up, okay? But let me continue. And so goes on to say that when I say witchcraft, he says, I am talking about what happened tonight: occult empowered deception, manipulation, and domination. This is what he said early Tuesday morning following the debate. Okay, now Willanow is a prominent figure in the pro-Trump evangelical movement and has long portrayed the former president as a divinely chosen leader tasked with saving America from what he describes as a spiritual and political decline. Harris's debate strategy and the behavior of the debates, two ABC News moderators who fact-checked Trump at least 5 times, were not merely political tactics, Willanow says, but part of a deeper, more sinister effort to deceive the public and control the debate's outcome. He also accused the debate moderators of colluding with Harris's campaign, writing that that's what ABC pulled off as moderators, and Kamala's script handlers set up the kill box. Now, one-sided questions and fact-checking sealed the box. Witchcraft. Later that evening, Willanow expanded on his allegations, writing that Harris had been given free rein to spread misinformation without being challenged. He says she knew she could speak 20 lies about Trump and not be contradicted. Now, that was the arrangement. He wrote this in a second post, saying that, and that's why I call it witchcraft, because it has the effect of planting and reinforcing thoughts in the mind of the listener that defiles perspective. This makes it easier to manipulate people, you see. As one of the earliest advocates of the idea that Trump was God's chosen, Willenow's first gained national attention in 2016 when he compared Trump to Cyrus, a biblical figure who was chosen by God to free the Jewish people from captivity. Hold on. I absolutely cannot. Oh, honey, what is wrong with folks? Hold on. Exact 2 says, well, her witchcraft surely hasn't worked in her behalf because she wants another debate, but Trump declined. And so Willenow's influence has only grown since then, with his messages blending politics and religion into a unified call for action amongst his followers. He is a leader of the 7 Mountain Mandate, which says that Christians are called to dominate 7 key areas of society: government, family, religion, arts, entertainment, media, and education and business. Now, Willenow's influence among evangelical Trump supporters is significant. Through his, hold on. Okay, now it says through his Courage tour and social media presence, he has been mobilizing Christian voters across the country, particularly in battleground states like Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, where his events have drawn large crowds. Most commentators describe Tuesday's debate as a victory for Harris, however. So Newsweek conducted a reader poll in which 66.7% of the 8,000 respondents said that Harris had won, while a 33.2% said Trump was the winner. Now, observers contacted by Newsweek also considered it a Harris victory. 9 chose Harris, 4 said that it was a tie, and just 1 said that Trump actually won. Betting odds markets flipped in Harris's favor following the debate. Now, in addition, several political science, debate, and government scholars told Newsweek that Harris performed better than Trump. Trump told Fox and Friends on Wednesday that he probably would not agree to more debates, but would consider debates moderated by Sean Hannity, Jesse Waters, and Laura Ingraham. Though I bet he would. Okay, all of whom are Trump loyalists. So Trump's not going back on ABC. He sees how it all played out for him, which was none too good. Okay, so what do y'all have to say? Do y'all think Kabami used witchcraft? Do y'all hate black women? Stand up. Okay, Sandra said Trump ain't never been to Antioch, let alone a Christian. Okay. Luscious says that Kamala and the female moderator are fraternity sisters. Oh, really? That's interesting. Okay. Dragon Lily says she's coming to my town today. All right. See if you can notice any homeless people missing from the streets. Because word is on the ground that they gather up these homeless people and drive them in buses to the rallies. Okay. Now that's just speculation. But they also said the Republicans do it too, so I don't know. All right. So anyway, with that all being said, likes up everyone, please like and share. This is all crazy. Now, this person talking about witchcraft, and I'm sure Trump's, supporters actually believe this. Okay, because in fact they believe anything that Trump tells them. We already know that. Okay, so now let's talk about it because two cases, the judge gave Trump a break because two of the charges that Trump was facing have now been dismissed out of 10. A court in Georgia has dismissed two of the 10 criminal charges against Donald Trump and one other charge against his allies for alleged attempts to interfere in the 2020 presidential election. Now, Fulton County Judge Scott McAfee ruled on Thursday that the southern state did not have the authority to bring specific charges related to the alleged filing of false documents in federal court. Judge McAfee allowed the rest of the case to move forward, including 8 charges against Trump out of the original 13. Now, 3 other charges against Trump were dropped earlier this year after the same judge ruled that the charges lacked detail. Stephen Sadow, a lawyer for Trump, praised the ruling, saying President Trump and his legal team in Georgia have prevailed once again. Now, Judge McAfee on Thursday said that the 2 drop charges fell under federal jurisdiction rather than under Georgia state law. The drop charges against Trump include conspiracy to commit false documents and conspiracy to commit forgery, okay, according to the court documents. Now, 2 of his co-defendants had their charges of forgery dropped as well. And according to the indictment filed on in August of 2023 by Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis, Trump conspired with 18 other defendants to interfere in the election results. Okay, so the group refused to accept that Trump lost, and they knowingly and willfully joined a conspiracy to unlawfully change the outcome of the election in favor of Trump, they say. Now, part of the alleged plot included Trump's phone call to Georgia's top election official, in which he pleaded with him to find 11,780 votes, the margin in which he lost to Mr. Biden. Trump and the 14 co-defendants have pleaded not guilty to racketeering and other state charges related to alleged efforts to overturn the former president's loss in Georgia. 4 others have pleaded guilty. Now, the case has largely been put on hold since June after Ms. Willis was found to have had a romantic relationship with one of the lead prosecutors in the case. A Georgia appeals court is currently considering whether Ms. Willis must step aside from the case due to the allegations of misconduct presented by defense attorneys. Well, we already know that her and Nathan Wade have something going on. I mean, you all saw, for those of you who follow the backup channel, know that I reported just a week or 2 ago when her daughter was in fact arrested, who showed up at the scene with her besides Nathan Wade. Okay? To give support, all right? To give support to his woman. That's what he did. Okay, Juju said, yeah, it is witchcraft. Y'all need to stop. Okay, y'all need to stop. And in other news, we're going to talk about on the backup channel how the woman who supposedly was eating cats, the Canton woman, she's been arrested and charged. She's been arrested and charged, although they say that she is not an illegal immigrant. Okay, they say she is not, in fact, an illegal immigrant. They say she's from Canton, but that she, in fact, has eaten cats that she's stolen from folks, and that's why she has been arrested. So please pay attention, honey. This is all crazy. This is all crazy. Now, with that all being said, let's talk about the New York Police Department's top cop, the police commissioner, has resigned after they wanted to look over his phone records and check his phone and all of that. So he has gone ahead and resigned. So let's get into it. Edward Caban. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. I'm going to share my screen so y'all can see that.
Now to a major shakeup inside New York City's police department. Commissioner Edward Caban resigned today. He said it's because of recent developments which, quote, created a distraction for our department, likely referring to a federal investigation into Mayor Eric Adams' inner circle. Mayor Adams commended Caban for his work leading the nation's largest police department for nearly 15 months.
A short time ago, I accepted the resignation of the NYPD Commissioner Edward Caban. He concluded that this is the best decision at this time. I respect his decision and I wish him well. Commissioner Caban dedicated his life to making our city safer, and we saw a drop in crime for 13 of the 14 months he served as commissioner.
It's been 1 week since federal agents took Caban's phone in an ongoing investigation into members of Mayor Adams' administration. The U.S. Attorney's Office is leading that investigation, but is being tight-lipped about the focus.
There you all have it. So he has resigned. I just thought it was very interesting that he resigned after they wanted to seize his phone and realized that he too was being investigated. Okay, likes up, everyone, please like and share. I'm going to share another clip. Okay, here we go.
Other headlines here tonight. Some new questions about Police Commissioner Edward Caban's tenure at the top of the nation's largest police department amid an ongoing federal corruption investigation that also involves his twin brother. Caban says that he is staying, but Mayor Adams may have some other ideas. Political reporter Marcia Kramer has more.
I wonder if you think you should resign, if you still have faith in him, and if you can guarantee that 2 months from now he'll still be your police commissioner.
I don't think anything in life is guaranteed.
And there it was, laid bare, the mayor answering questions about the rumors that Police Commissioner Edward Caban, whose phones were confiscated as part of federal raids on top officials of the Adams administration, will resign in the coming days.
When I chose Eddie, I chose him for his experience and what he brought after 30-something years of service. And so, rumors are always out there, Marsha. You can never keep up with the rumors that you hear. There was nothing that came from me that fed those rumors at all.
A top police official also addressed the resignation rumor, saying, quote, "Any talk of resignation is speculation at this point. He could resign because he doesn't want to be a distraction. It doesn't mean he's guilty of anything." But the federal probe could hit close to home. Sources say Caban's identical twin brother James is being eyed by federal agents over allegations he worked as a fixer for restaurants and nightclubs in Manhattan. Allegations he worked to smooth things over between popular establishments and cops giving them trouble over such things as noise complaints and other violations. Police sources also confirmed today that the feds also confiscated the phones of Deputy Inspector Robert Galt, commanding officer of Midtown North Precinct and former commanding officer of the 10th Precinct in Chelsea, both precincts being nightclub hotspots. Late today, Caban made his first public appearance since the raids, speaking at an event on security for the Jewish high holidays. There continues to be much speculation about Caban's tenure. 4 sources insist he will resign in the coming days. There is also much speculation about who would replace him if he does step down. Complicating things is the fact that Mayor Adams tested positive for COVID right after his press conference today. I'm Marcia Kramer, CBS News, New York.
As Marcia mentioned, Caban did hold a news conference on how the NYPD is working to keep the Jewish community safe ahead of the high holidays.
The next month or so, the NYPD will be increasing our presence around synagogues and other sensitive locations. You will see uniformed foot posts and officers out on patrol. And as always, there'll be additional security measures that you won't see and some that you will see.
Caban made the quick remarks and then left the auditorium. The Jewish high holidays begin with Rosh Hashanah, which starts October 2nd.
I loved anything electronics, always tinkered with.
All right, so there you all have it. Okay, there you all have it. At the end of the day, I find it very interesting that he has resigned. Now, they can say that there was no charges or anything like that or whatever, but it does seem a bit suspicious in my opinion. Okay, so Now let's listen to this. Okay, so they say the announced departure of the city's first Latino police commissioner came less than a week after reports surfaced that a cascade of top officials, including Caban, had their phones seized by federal investigators. Now, the mayor initially said Caban could still do his job, but during a Tuesday press conference, he notably stopped short of expressing confidence in the embattled commissioner. So Caban has not been accused of wrongdoing, but some have argued that the shadow of a criminal investigation made it impossible for him to lead the country's largest police force effectively. Now, the mayor, who hasn't been accused of wrongdoing either, has been facing similar skepticism. You know, Mayor Eric Adams seems to be controversial. He's always involved in something, it seems. And also, let's not forget that he was supposedly pretty good friends with Bishop Lamar Whitehead, who's now been convicted of fraud. But I digress. So speaking to reporters on Thursday, City Council Speaker Adrian Adams said that the multiple investigations had resulted in chaos within the mayor's office, saying, I think that because of the magnitude of the situation and the number of investigations going on right now within the administration, the distractions are still going to be there. Now, the mayor's office did not immediately respond to a request for comment. In addition to Caban, federal agents also served search warrants to First Deputy Mayor Sheena Wright, her partner, Schools Chancellor David Banks, and First Deputy Mayor of Public Safety Phil Banks. They say this resignation is a correct decision from an array of options at a moment I wish we weren't in. One, when New Yorkers have little trust in the administration and little information from the mayor to help restore it. This is what Jumaine Williams said, or Jumaine Williams, the city's public advocate, who has become increasingly critical of the mayor in a statement. Now, it says that he added that the mayor still urgently needs to provide real transparency into this moment of confusion for city leadership. A city comptroller, Brad Lander, a fellow Democrat who is running to unseat Adams, called Caban's resignation appropriate, saying that unless this is accompanied by a series of real management reforms and public integrity safeguards, an NYPD and a city council, one personnel change alone will not solve the ongoing concerns of New Yorkers. Okay? So they want a series of real management reforms and public integrity safeguards. Now, some critics of the mayor took a harsher stance, saying we don't just need a new commissioner, we need a new mayor. We need new priorities. This is what Queens council member Tiffany Caban said in a statement. Now, Councilmember Caban, and I don't think she's related to the man that's the commissioner. I don't think she's related. There's actually an asterisk over her name. So anyway, who has been critical of NYPD's use of aggressive tactics. They accuse the mayor of emboldening an increasingly rogue, unaccountable, militarized police force. Now, I have to agree with that. What do you all have to say? I think that the NYPD, in my opinion, is one of the most nefarious, most callous, and most egregious police departments in the land. This is my opinion. What say you? Once in the chat if you think the NYPD is clearly nefarious. Okay, and they've been nefarious as far as I'm concerned. I'm talking about from way back when Frank Serpico exposed them back in the 70s. And then they tried to have him taken out. He had to be put in witness protection after being shot in the face at a drug deal where his officers who were supposed to back him up did not, because he informed the other people, you know, the higher ups, and also the Fraternal Order of Police, and I forget the other group that I'm talking about, but he informed them of their corrupt practices, and so they tried to set him up. Internal Affairs, that's who I meant, not the Fraternal Order of Police. Okay, what was I thinking? Yeah, Internal Affairs. After he told on them and expressed his concerns about a myriad of corrupt practices and actions that were going on. And then let us not forget how we saw them doing Black people during the pandemic. Do you all remember that? How they were just going around? There was pictures of them just attacking, beating up Black folk for not wearing masks. But then we see video of them going to white folks at the park and handing them masks and gloves, not beating them up and punching them because they didn't have it, but literally giving it to them whilst they punched and kicked and beat the Black folk for not having them. I just want you all to pay attention because this is how it all goes down in the NYPD, okay, department. Now, yes, they're militarized as far as I'm concerned. And aren't they trained in Israel, no less? But let me continue. Following news of Edward Caban's resignation, Adams delivered a 4-minute address to New Yorkers, but took no questions from reporters. But he didn't. I bet he didn't have much to say. Now, the mayor will likely face questions in the coming days about whether other high-ranking aides involved in the investigations should leave their jobs as well. Council member Lincoln Ressler said on Twitter or X that other senior officials caught up in these investigations who are responsible for public safety should also resign. Okay, including Deputy Mayor Phil Banks, he says. Now, among those under scrutiny are Timothy Pearson, a senior advisor for public safety who has been at the center of several controversies. Now, these include an sexual harassment and retaliation lawsuits from 4 former and current NYPD officers, in which the city has hired an outside attorney to handle his legal defense. Now, the focus on Caban has particularly disturbed some Latino elected officials. They say the idea that we were focusing primarily on just the commissioner seemed alarming to me. This is what Diana Ayala, a city council member who represents East Harlem and parts of the Bronx, had to say during an interview with WNYC, said it felt like a tactic to not necessarily hold the others to the same level of scrutiny. They say State Senator Jessica Ramos, a frequent critic of Adams's, who announced her run for mayor on Friday morning, said she was concerned that one of the top-ranking Latinos seems to be the only one getting the pressure to remove himself from a seat of power. She added that, how many strikes does Mr. Pearson need before he gets the pressure to resign? And so clearly she has questions. Now, this all sounds nefarious. It sounds like a whole bunch of nefarious and corrupt things were taking place, shady backhand deals, no less. I don't know what all was involved, but it sounds like a lot of corruption and like people weren't doing what they were supposed to do. And using possibly, just in my own opinion, using their authority and their, ranking for financial gain, okay, amongst other things. And so this is all so crazy. Latasha says, Queen, I sent you an email video. Okay, I will, beloved. Thank you. Now let's have a word from my sponsors at 12 Tribe before I get into the next segment. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so there you have it. You can order your 12 Tribes. Go to Etsy.com, look for Lisa Crafts, and also you can order it from Walmart.com. Okay, so now with that all being said, everyone please get those likes up. Remember, it doesn't cost you a single thing, okay? It's absolutely for free. Now let's get into the next segment of this live. Okay, so on last night, hold on, let me stop right there. Okay, so you all may remember that last year sometime I reported on the backup channel a case of sextortion where there was a young man by the name of Jordan Jemay, 17 years old, who lost his life over a sextortion scandal. Okay, how many of you remember that? Once in the chat, if you all remember that, it was reported on the backup channel. Once in the chat, if you remember that report. The young man was scammed by 2 Nigerian brothers. Okay, they tried to extort money from him after tricking him into sending them inappropriate pictures of himself. Okay, the young man consequently, after being bullied and, threatened by them and extorted, well, he took his own life. So last night I interviewed his mother, Jennifer Buda. Okay, so with that all being said, likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now, let me just tell you a little bit about the case before we get started. And listen, don't forget to tune into the backup channel because we're going to be talking about the trial of Tyree Nichols, also the protest that supposedly erupted into violence for Justin Robinson. For those of you who follow the backup channel, I did report on him last week. Okay, for those of you who missed it, we'll be talking about that on the backup channel. Okay, likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, as I had said to Jen when I was talking to her last night, that when Jordan's case came up with this whole sextortion scam, this was my first time ever hearing about sextortion. Okay. That was my first time hearing about a case about it, and let alone the people who perpetrated it, being extradited to the US from Nigeria. Okay. And those men were sentenced last week. Okay, and this is something that's very much widespread. I didn't realize how widespread it is or was until after I did some research, after I spoke with Jen Buda. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. And now, as I said, Jordan was 17 years old. He was a high school student. Excuse me. He was going to graduate soon. He was just a couple of months away from turning 18. He had plans to go to college, and he wanted to study athletics medicine, and possibly work in sports, I do believe. And he was very popular, had lots of friends. He was very close with his mother and father. But unfortunately, Jordan didn't get to fulfill his dreams and hopes because he ended his life after being bullied and extorted. And it was just all a very sad set of circumstances. And this is something that parents need to be speaking to their children about, because there are thousands of people involved in committing and perpetrating these scams yearly. Okay. And the DOJ had to get involved in the case of Jordan. I want you all to pay attention because this is something that's very serious and far reaching. Okay. So likes up, everyone, please like and share. And I'm going to go to the interview that I did with Jen, and then we'll talk about this some more because I went digging up some more information, like I said, and there's an entire network of these people, which I didn't know until after I conducted the interview. And so likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Hello, Jen. Thank you for joining me. I really want to say, first of all, my condolences for your loss. I read the story about Jordan when this incident first happened, and I had never heard anything about sextortion. So I want you to, first of all, tell me a little bit about Jordan. Like, what type of teenager was he? What sort of things did he like to do?
Jordan was a really great kid. He was very much into listening to music. He had his driver's license, so he loved to cruise around in his car, hang out with his friends. He played basketball, football. He had a girlfriend. He worked at McDonald's. He was very stand-up when it came to being a big brother and helping out at home. Just an all-around, very fun-loving, hardworking kid.
Right. Okay. And I'm sure you had a lot of friends, was very popular in school. So when all of this happened, with the sextortion scam and all of that, before Jordan's incident, had you ever heard of anything like this before?
I had not heard about sextortion. I'd heard about scams, monetary scams, but nothing to this extent where it involved exchanging images and then the threats for money.
Right. Okay. So now my question is, now when this first happened, where was Jordan? And had you noticed any changes in his behavior, or was there anything that seemed off, leading up to the incident?
So this happened in less than 6 hours. He was
Really?
at his dad's house. He had just left my house. He headed over to his dad's house to spend the night because they were going on a trip to Florida for spring break. and he got his first message just after 10 p.m. that evening. And before 4 o'clock in the morning, he was gone.
Before, just in that short span of time.
Yeah.
So now, was that the first time they had ever contacted Jordan? The entire thing, from them, getting him to send pictures, and then until the extortion started, this all happened just in a span of 6 hours?
Yes, just under 6 hours.
Wow. Now, where did they encounter Jordan online? Like, what platform were they on?
So it was an Instagram account.
Mm. And so they had created this fake profile pretending they were a teen girl.
Correct. So there actually was, it's a hacked account. They purchased these hacked accounts and
Oh,
then
really?
pretended to
Mhm.
be that person in the profile picture.
Wow. Now, how did you all find out that this, is what caused Jordan to end his life? I mean, how did you find out about the sextortion, that he'd been in contact with these people?
So for several hours, we had no idea what happened. And these people behind the fake account, they reached out and sent photos to Jordan's girlfriend and started asking her for money. She came to me and asked if I had his phone because she believed he was talking to someone the night before. And once she told me what was going on, I handed that over to law enforcement. They took a look at it and said, we think that this is sextortion.
Wow. So they'd reached out to the girlfriend. So this is, I guess, she was one of the people that they were threatening to send these pictures to. Now, do you know how they found out who his girlfriend was? Were they like stalking his social media, perhaps?
Yeah,
Trying to get information about.
They definitely went through all of his social media. His Instagram was full of his girlfriend. His Facebook was full of his girlfriend. They had just celebrated like their 1-year anniversary together. So all the information was right there for them to use against him.
Wow. And so there were 3 people that were involved in this, right? Well, did they have like some type of network? They all had played different parts. Like, did you ever find out exactly what each, the roles of what each one of these people played?
So there's actually 4 people that were involved in it, according to one of the court documents. One of them reached out to Jordan. The other one got the image and started asking for money. And another one was behind the scenes making the collages of Jordan, because they made actual collages of Jordan with his photos and making it look like they were sending it out to his friends' parents. And then the person who really put the pressure on and told him to take his life.
They told him to take his life? Wow. Really? So after all of this started transpiring, you said it lasted for like maybe 6 hours. So they were likely tormenting him, mentally. I'm sure he was humiliated, embarrassed, afraid, how you and his father would feel, I'm sure. Do you think that Jordan felt like he couldn't come to you, or come to, maybe just was too embarrassed to say anything about it, to try to seek help or whatever, to discuss it, try to figure out how to, deal with this situation instead of trying to deal with it on his own?
I can't say for sure what was going through his head that night. I know that he was tired, alone, in the dark. I wish every day that he was at my house, because we have such a close relationship that I feel like he may have just come to me and told me about it.
Right.
But I think that they put the pressure on so hard on him that he never even had a chance to think about things and, look at it from an adult standpoint, right? Because he's got a 17-year-old brain and make sense of what was going on.
Right. Yeah, he was probably, I mean, there's, like you said, there's no telling what was going through his mind. Now, after you found out what was going on, and then the police did their investigation and, you know, realized it was a sextortion scam. When you found out these people were all the way across the world in Nigeria, what do you think about that? Did you ever think that you would get justice or see them, tried for their crimes?
Honestly, I remember the day that law enforcement called me and told me where they were located, and the thought in
Hmm.
my head was, "They're gonna find them. They have to find them. We we need an ending to this. We need some resolve in finding out who it is." And I never had it go through my mind that they wouldn't.
Really? And then, this seems to be probably the first case I've heard of where they've extradited someone from Nigeria over here for a scam. And so, were these young men who did this, the perpetrators, do you know if they were tied to any other sextortion scams?
So, according to the court indictment,
Hmm.
these individuals, they targeted Jordan and over 100 other people.
Wow. So, they likely have been doing this for a while. How old are these young men?
I believe the two that are here in the US, they are 21 and 24 now. At the time, they were 22 and 20.
And so there's a third person. I read that he's fighting extradition. Do you think that he'll eventually be brought to justice as well?
I mean, I hope so. Law enforcement, the Department of Justice, they have done all of this work and put this effort in. I think,
Hmm.
they want to see this through to the finish line as well. And it's just a matter of going through the proper legal steps of it.
Right. And so I'm sure it's been really hard, but you know, um, if you can just describe what it's been like for the past 2 years or so since Jordan, without Jordan.
I mean, everything about my life has changed in the last 2.5 years. Jordan and I were extremely close. I have two very young children. It was just him and I for 14 years of his life. So we did everything together. Those moments we shared together in the car, being at sporting events, the talks late at night in his room or in the kitchen. I lost my favorite person in the whole world. And, I have his sisters who remind me of him daily. Going through this legal process for the last 2.5 years has been, here we are, this is what we're investigating, and you don't know what's going to happen. And then they say that they've arrested them, and you don't know if they'll ever get here, but then they did get here, and anything can go wrong when you're going through the court process. And
Hmm.
so it's just been like a fight or flight, and you wait for the next step. You just keep going. And finally that part of it came to a close last week.
Right. So they got sentenced to 17 years. How did you feel? Did you feel any type of closure after they were sentenced?
I didn't go into the sentencing with any type of expectations.
Hmm.
I took some time afterwards because it was obviously a very overwhelming day to deal with emotionally. And once I sat back and thought about it, I was like, you know what? This is okay, because we know who did this to him, and what our Department of Justice did to get us to this point is absolutely amazing. And a lot of parents don't. Brought here and held accountable for your actions.
Absolutely, because I doubt that they ever thought that they would get caught, let alone be tried and convicted because they were so far away. And now, with that all being said, I did read, that you basically expressed empathy for their mother, because you said their lives are also ruined, or she's going to have to deal, with not being able to see them. And I thought that was very big of you because, some people, the last thing they be thinking about, is their family. But so, how do you find it in your heart, to even have compassion for whatever their mother might be going through after what, they did or caused Jordan to do?
You know what? She's a mom and she has two boys and she is probably missing them hard. And, like me, she is just an innocent bystander to this crime. And
Mhm.
I'm sure that she's missing them. And, that gets me as a mom, like to hear your child's voice. And I don't know, I've thought about that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, that's really thoughtful of you because some people would not have, the same compassion. Now, what would you like to see happen as far as, social media platforms that these things are committed on, these scams, the sextortion? What about, have you spoken to perhaps any of your local politicians? I mean, what would you like to see moving forward, to protect people from incidents like this?
I have spoken to local politicians. They have backed some legislation, such as the Kids Online Safety Act. There are several
Mhm.
pieces that are in the works. I think that those are good starting points to enhance the safety and hold social media accountable for this. I do think that social media has taken some steps in the fact that you can they blur out if you're sending a nude photo now. And that
Okay.
came out the day after these boys pled guilty in Jordan's case. All of a sudden, that feature was available.
Okay.
They did take down over 60,000 accounts that were being used in Nigeria for this crime.
Wow.
So that's,
60,000.
yep, yep. So I think, Jordan's case is sending a message to social media as well. And what we really need is more safety features, more awareness, and more timely response from social media when something is reported to them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. And possibly some type of legislation, um, and other things. So, after all of this has happened, I'm sure it's been very difficult the last 2.5 years, as you said. What about Jordan's siblings? I mean, of course, they don't understand what's happened, but can you see that they miss Jordan, having him around and things like that? Or do they still ask about him?
So my two daughters were 1 and 3 when this happened. My 1 year
Okay.
old has virtually no memory of him. My 3 year
Mhm.
old went through a very difficult time. For the age difference, they had a very close
Mhm.
relationship. And she kept saying, "When's Jordan coming home? It's been too long. Where's Jordan? He should be home like right now. There's his car. Can you call him so he can just drive home?" So I've had to have some tough conversations with them at their level to try and give them some understanding. And I think they understand that he's not coming back, and we do things to celebrate him. And we talk about the things that at least my 3 year old remembers.
Mhm.
And I will go on for the rest of my life sharing about Jordan so that they know what kind of person their brother was and how much he truly loved them.
Absolutely. And so you said that Jordan spent the night. Let me just back up a little bit because you said that Jordan wasn't at home with you that night. He spent the night at his father's. So I would imagine his father found him. That had to be awful. Did he say that he noticed anything strange that night prior to Jordan ending his life?
No, he didn't say that he noticed anything. I am actually the one that figured out something was wrong and reached out to his dad to see where Jordan was, because Jordan had texted me in the middle of the night saying, "Mother, I love you." And I couldn't reach him that morning. And that set off alarms after I couldn't reach him, because he always responded to me.
Mm-hmm. And so immediately your motherly instincts told you that something was wrong.
Immediately. I remember even like dropping my kids off at daycare, and
Mhm.
I was driving back home to work, and I stopped at this stoplight and I thought I should drive to his dad's house. And I'd never had that come over me before, but I had this icky feeling that something wasn't right.
Wow. Well, and I can imagine that had to be very hard. And then his father. And so, did Jordan leave a note or anything? There was no note or anything like that, and you just basically found out after the girlfriend got the text message or the picture or whatever they sent her.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Up
when it started to. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Go
up
ahead.
until she had told me about the messages she had, we had no idea. I spent
Hmm.
that whole morning and afternoon asking what happened, what happened, what happened, because there was literally no reason for Jordan to do this. There was no sign. This kid was about to graduate. He was going off to college. He was getting ready to go on vacation. He left my house that night a happy kid ready for a break from school. So I just wanted to know what happened. And when his girlfriend reached out, we started to follow that and get some answers.
Hmm. Wow. And so, Jen, what would you say? What advice would you give to parents, you know, that could possibly help them to, be checking on their teenagers or to be, warn their teenagers about online predators and things of that sort? What would you say to them? And also, what advice would you give to teenagers who may find themselves in a similar situation?
To the parents, I think right now our greatest asset is awareness and prevention. You need to have open conversations about this happening on social media and not turn a cheek thinking that it can't happen to your children. These people are professionals. This is a business transaction to them. You need to sit down and have a very real conversation that if someone is asking them for money or photos, they need to seek out an adult for help on it and reassure their children that they can help them get out of any type of situation. For the kids, social media is great. Everybody who says they're your friend on social media or who reaches out may not be your friend. And be very careful about what you are sharing on social media. If you find yourself in this situation, don't delete anything, block them, walk away from your phone, talk to a trusted adult, and remember that you are the victim in this situation. You have not done anything wrong, and there are so many people out there, including law enforcement, that want to help you if you find yourself in that situation.
Absolutely. That's really good advice. Well, I really want to thank you for your bravery, for your compassion, and for coming out and sharing Jordan's story because I'm sure that it will help someone else. I'm sure. And this is also helping to bring awareness because, like I said, I've never heard of sextortion. I've heard people talk about sexting when people are sending pictures from phone to phone, people that they're dating or, that they know. But people online blackmailing people, extorting people, and pretending to be other people to get information from them. And then, just being so vicious about it. I mean, telling him to take his own life. And then also, one more thing I wanted to say also. So they were asking Jordan to send them money, which I'm sure he didn't have. And then so that's likely when the hatred started and they probably amped up. Um, Pretty much is how it happened, I would imagine. Do you think that um, Did Jordan, in fact, send them any money?
So they initially wanted $1,000 and Jordan sent them
Mhm.
$300, and that wasn't enough. Even after they received that, they wanted more and kept going. And then
Mhm.
once Jordan got to a point where he said, "Why are you doing this to me? I feel like taking my own life," they said, "We're going to watch you die a miserable death." And, eventually when he brought up he wanted to take his own life again, they said, "Good, do that faster. We'll make you do it." And he did.
Wow, just so callous. Just so
Exactly.
callous. I'm really sorry that happened to your son and Jordan. And like I said, hopefully this will help someone else. I'm sure it is because this is really bringing awareness. So many people haven't heard about it, and I really appreciate you, for having this candid discussion with me about it. And I wish you all the best. And thank you so much for coming on here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Okay, so with that all being said, a very sad story. And here's the thing. This happens, to many people. Like she said, the DOJ removed 60,000 of those accounts that were doing the same thing. Okay, so let's talk about it. But before I get into it, let me address Amazing Lovecraft. Amazing Lovecraft seems to have a problem with the fact that I interviewed Jennifer Buda about her son Jordan. Okay, because he's not black. Is that why you're upset, beloved? You're putting all these names in the chat. Hashtag justice for Tatiana Jefferson, GK Owens, Sonia Massey. Let me tell you something. All of these names that you're putting in the chat, every single last one of them, I have reported on. Okay, I have reported on every last one of those names that you're putting in my chat. Okay, now with that all being said, I'm not relegated to only talking about the injustices and the nefarious stories that happen to black people. I also talk about white people, Asian people, Mexican people, whomever that I choose to talk about. If something nefarious happened to their loved ones and I want to bring attention to it, awareness to it, then that's what I do. Okay, that's what I do. Okay, at the end of the day. So, with that all being said, wrong is wrong no matter the race of the people that it happens to or the person who commits it. And here are the people who did this to Jordan. These are the people that these two brothers are now in prison. They were sentenced last week. This is why I bring this story back up because I actually reported on this story when it first happened back in 2022. Now, Jennifer Buda had actually thanked me on my TikTok channel. She left me a comment thanking me for covering her son's story. That's how I found out that she was his mother. Okay, and so I had her on here to bring awareness to how prevalent this is because this is not just a one-time thing. This is something that has been going on, and there have been many people that have taken their lives. Now, fortunately, in Jordan's case, the perpetrators were apprehended and brought to justice, at least two of them. There was actually four people involved altogether. One of them, the third person, is fighting extradition, and the fourth person really don't know much about. But here's the thing. I did my research after the interview last night and found that there is, in fact, a network because that's what I was asking Jen. Did she think there's a network of people doing this? And there absolutely is. They're called the Yahoo Boys. Now, before I get into the Yahoo Boys, let's talk about this. Okay, so two brothers from Nigeria who targeted a 17-year-old in a sextortion scam have been sentenced to 17 years and 6 months in jail in the U.S. Now, the Ogoshi brothers from Lagos, Nigeria, lured Jordan DeMay into sending them explicit images by pretending to be a girl his age, and then they started blackmailing him. He took his own life less than 6 hours after they started talking on Instagram. Now, it is the first successful prosecution of Nigerians for sextortion in the United States, where it is rapidly growing as a cybercrime, often linked to Nigeria. Now, Jordan's mother, Jen Buda, held pictures of her son in court and she cried as she read a victim impact statement. She said, "I am shattered to my core. And she welcomed the ending of the trial, but said that there is no good outcome from this tragic case. Jordan DeMay was a popular schoolboy from Michigan. Samuel Ogoshi, who's 24 years old, and his brother Samson Ogoshi, who's 21, sent him a friend request on Instagram, pretending to be a pretty girl his age, and then started flirting with him. Now, one of them received explicit images from the teenager and then blackmailed him for hundreds of dollars, threatening to share the pictures online with friends if he didn't comply. Jordan sent the money that he had, and the scammers warned him that, he told them that he would take his own life, and they told him to go right on ahead. Okay, now with that all being said, another Nigerian man linked to Jordan's death and other cases is fighting extradition. So these people are linked to other cases, not just Jordan's. Now, speaking to the BBC in May from Jordan's family home in the city of Marquette, Michigan, Jordan's mother praised the police for their work tracking the sextortionists down. But she said she had mixed feelings about the Ogoshis being behind bars. She said, it's a relief that someone's being held accountable, but there's no good that's coming out of this situation for my family or for the individuals responsible's family. I miss my son more than I can describe to you, but the mother of those men is probably missing her sons too as well now. She too is just an innocent bystander of this sextortion crime. Now, I want you all to pay attention because, the thing that struck me about Jen is the fact that she had compassion, that she had such compassion for the mother of these two sons that did this, that had her son, extorted him to the point that he took his own life. I think they are the last people I would be thinking about. I don't think I would have given two thoughts. Okay, but that's just me. But that just goes to show how some people are so compassionate and can be so forgiving. Okay, now, goes on to say that researchers and law enforcement agencies point to Nigeria as being a hot spot for this type of crime. Now, in April, 2 Nigerian men were arrested after a schoolboy from Australia took himself out. Okay, he took his own life. 2 other men are on trial in Lagos after a 15-year-old in the U.S. and a 14-year-old in Canada took their lives. Okay. Nigerian authorities are also working with police in Scotland to investigate the case of 16-year-old Murray Dowie, who took his life in December. And then in January, U.S. cyber company Network Contagion Research Institute, known as NCRI, highlighted a web of Nigerian TikTok, YouTube, and Scribed accounts sharing tips and scripts for sextortion. So teaching people how to do this. Many of the discussions and videos are in Nigerian Pidgin dialect. Okay. Nigeria's cybersecurity professor, Adijij Oyenugu, from Lagos State University, says that he hopes the news of Nigerians being sentenced will filter through to criminals and put them off. The Ogoshi's case has already sent a bad signal. They say, I'm hearing from street level that it is having an effect and that it might not stop criminals turning to these crimes, but it will likely reduce the numbers. Now, there have been an increase in the number of local victims too. And Professor Oyenugu says that Nigerian police have had some success in tackling the criminals. They say it's not the first time that Nigeria's young tech-savvy population has embraced a new wave of cybercrime. The term Yahoo Boys is used to describe a portion of the population that use cybercrime to earn a living. It comes from the early 2000s wave of Nigerian print scam emails, which spread through the Yahoo email service. Now, Dr. Tambari Sibi from cybersecurity firm Digital Footprints Nigeria says that cyber fraud, such as sextortion, has in fact become normalized amongst young people in the country. But he hopes that news of the Ogoshi's sentencing spreads fast, saying they see cybercrime as a bloodless crime. With potentially lucrative financial rewards. This case needs to be given sufficient coverage to show these young people that sextortion can lead to loss of life and long prison sentences. Okay, yeah, they need to know that you will be brought to justice. Okay, just because you're over there in Nigeria, don't think you're just going to get away with this stuff. Okay, because this is all so nefarious at the end of the day, targeting minors. Okay, they're not just doing this to adults, they're targeting minors. And it's just really sad. And like I said, they have a whole network of these people calling themselves the Yahoo Boys. Okay. Basically, they've been doing this for quite some time. They say in October of 2023, the FBI reported 1,000% increase in financial sextortion incidents in the U.S. over the past 18 months. This has prompted several U.S. government agencies to launch a national public safety alert on the explosion of this threat. Canada and Australia are observing a similar trend, with their domestic law enforcement agencies receiving between 200 and 300 complaints per month, respectively. Okay, I just want you all to pay attention because, like I said, this is widespread. Okay, and this could happen to anybody's child if people are not careful. So, likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. So, like I said, they have this whole network of people doing this, and 60,000 accounts being removed. That should tell you a whole lot right there. Okay. And then they also have another report on the Yahoo Boys. Say they use real-time face swapping to carry out elaborate sextortion and romance schemes. We've all heard of catfish scams, when someone pretends to be a lover on the other side of the screen, but instead they aren't who they say they are. Once their real face is revealed, then now you see that they're trying to scam you. These scams are on the rise, and it's much more sophisticated because scammers can fake the face too. Okay, the scam is known as the Yahoo Boys scam, and it's taking catfishing to a whole nother level. Now, deep fake technology uses AI to allow people to impersonate others over audio and video. The technology is essentially able to replicate someone's face, their facial expressions, gestures, voices, etc., so that the scammer can then pretend to be someone that they aren't with almost perfect accuracy. I want you all to pay attention to how dangerous this is. Now, although deep fake technology has some intentions for good, like in the film industry or advertising, though there are some debates regarding the ethics of it, it's generally used for more malicious purposes than anything else. Now, because it's very difficult to tell whether or not a deep fake is the real person or a fake, and also because deep fakes are relatively new, deep fakes can have the potential to do a lot of damage, from the larger implications of it being used to spread inaccurate news stories that can sway public opinion and political processes, to it being used to inflict damage on individuals with scams. It's important to know what to watch for. Now, the Yahoo Boys scam involves a group of sophisticated cyber criminals, primarily based in Nigeria, who are using the technology to conduct what's otherwise known as romance scams. Okay, like some catfishing attempts, they first build trust with their victims through personal and romantic interactions over messaging and eventually video calls, where they then manipulate their appearances in real time to match the description and profile that they may have shared with them up until that point. This is all nefarious. I just want you all to pay attention. Now, by doing this, they can trick the victim into trusting them even more. This is because most of us still use video as a way to verify a person's identity. Now, when messaging isn't convincing enough, they go to the videos. Now, finally, when the timing is right, the victims are often persuaded into transferring money based on various fabricated scenarios, leading to significant financial losses. Okay, in fact, the FBI reported over $650 million lost to these scams. They are just getting rich off of this. This is all so crazy. Please pay attention. Now, in the case of the Yahoo Boys scam, the scammers do their dirty work by, number one, the scammer will use two smartphones or a combination of a smartphone and a laptop. One device is used to conduct the video call with the victim, while the other runs face swapping software. The second thing they do is on a secondary device, the scammer activates face swapping software. This device's camera films the scammer's face, and the software adds a digital mask over it. This mask is a realistic replica of another person's facial features, which the scammer has chosen to impersonate. Now, the software is so sophisticated. It's sophisticated enough to track and mimic the scammer's facial movements and expressions in real time, altering everything from skin tone and facial structure to hair and gender to match the chosen identity. This is scary, folks. Okay. I mean, because just not even in the sextortion, this could be used for many other nefarious things. This is like real sick. Okay. The third thing is for the video call, the scammer uses a primary device with its rear camera aimed at the secondary device's screen. Now, this screen shows the deep fake, the digitally altered face. The rear camera captures this and sends it to the victim, who sends the deep fake as if it's the scammer's actual face to make the illusion even more convincing. Now, the devices are then stabilized on stands, and ring lights provide even more flattering lighting. And then this setup ensures that the deepfake appears clear and stable, tricking the victim into believing they're seeing a real person. Oh, so crazy. Now, the fourth thing is throughout the call, the scammer speaks using their own voice, although in some setups, voice altering technology may be used, okay, to match the voice to the deep faked person's face. This comprehensive disguise allows the scammer to then interact naturally with the victim, reinforcing the illusion. Though deep fake or each deep fake scam is different, having a basic level of understanding in terms of how scams like this work can help one to recognize them. To protect yourself from deepfake scams like the Yahoo Boy scams, here's what you need to do. Verify identities. Always confirm the identity of individuals you meet online through video calls by asking them to perform unpredictable actions in real time, like writing a specific word on a piece of paper and then tell them to show it to the camera. Okay, this is what you need to do. Be skeptical of unusual requests. Be cautious if someone you've only met online, just met them online and they're requesting money, asking you for personal information or any other sensitive details. Enhance privacy settings. Adjust privacy settings on social media and other platforms to limit the amount of personal information available publicly, which can be used to create deepfake content. Are you all writing this down? Okay, this is all so crazy. Please pay attention. I mean, who comes up with this? Now, use secure communication channels. Prefer secure encrypted platforms for communications and avoid sharing sensitive content over less secure channels. Educate yourself about deepfakes. Stay informed about the latest developments in deepfake technology to better recognize potentially manipulated content. And lastly, report suspicious activity. Now, if you encounter a potential scam or deepfake attempt, report it to the relevant authorities or platforms to help prevent further incidents. Okay, by following these guidelines, you can actually reduce your risk of falling victim to sophisticated digital scams and protect your personal and financial information from falling into the hands of these scammers. Okay, so you guys be on the lookout for the Yahoo boys because clearly they are in fact nefarious. Okay, Sherry said, great info, Queen. Thank you, beloved. Okay, so, like I said, very sad. And not just Jordan, but other young people, 14 and 15 years old, have taken their lives because of this, because of them being sextorted. Okay, and so rest in peace to Jordan John DeMay, and for all of the people who have been scammed to the point that they lost their lives due to humiliation, embarrassment, and bullying. And if you know someone who may be thinking of ending their life, they're going through something, they're suffering from depression, please talk to them about getting some help. Okay, they can call a hotline and speak with a crisis personnel that can possibly help them. Okay, so with that all being said, as I told you all, this is something very serious. And if you have teenagers, young children, or whatever, you need to be talking to them about this because this is something that's really far reaching. And they have a whole network of these people out here doing this. And I don't think they're going to stop anytime soon because if they've made in excess of $650 million, okay, $650 million in a year, this is what it's generating. So please pay attention. Okay. So with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in once again. Please like and share. Don't forget that I'm going to be live tonight at 9 o'clock. I'm going to be live tonight at 9 o'clock, going to be doing an interview. We're going to be talking about some of these wild parties in Hollywood. We're going to be talking about the music industry. We're going to be talking about Jaguar and Jay-Z. We're going to be talking about Kim Porter. You all just make sure you tune in, okay? We're going to be talking about it, all right? So with that all been said, likes up, everyone, please like and share. I want to thank you all in advance, and I will be going live on the backup channel. It's going to start at 11 o'clock. Let me just drop the link real quick before I roll out of here. Okay, everyone, please hit the like button on your way out. Thank you. Y'all know I love you all to life. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. That's See right. A bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got